Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Off This Thing. This is basically an off-the-cuff video. I do it unscripted. I just do it real quick. Nothing real fancy. We just dive into an idea and talk about a few points. Today's idea, softball interviews. Do they have any value? There are three people in my mind that really get accused of doing softball interviews. They are Dave Rubin from his show, The Rubin Report, Stefan Molyneux from Free Domain Radio, and of course, Roaming Millennial on her show. All three have gotten accused of being overly easy on their guests. I know Roaming is kind of the latest right now as she is interviewing Imam Tawhidi. That interview is not even out yet, but I know already the accusations are flying. It's going to be a softball interview. And this raises the question, are softball interviews worth anything? I would submit, yes, they are. They're actually worth quite a lot if you're willing to sit and listen. Let me explain why. In the mainstream media, we are used to high levels of antagonism. Case in point, Ben Shapiro and Piers Morgan. These two guys hate each other or strongly dislike each other, but they're not buddies. They don't go out for beers. And when they get on the air together, it's just a fight. And the ideas take a back seat in some sense because of the levels of antagonism. Pierce's audience wants to see Pierce win. Ben's audience wants to see Ben win. The ideas are presented through debates. They're set up in intellectual traps, gotcha moments, faulty dilemmas, like all these different techniques that are used to make a debate more interesting from a television point of view, but not necessarily more logical. And the ideas don't stand or fall based on their own merit. When you get to the end of the interview or the engagement, if you will, you sit there and you go, well, did Ben win or did Pierce win? And it really depends on who the better debater is, and that's whose ideas won. In those antagonistic moments there, really the ideas take a back seat. Now, with a softball interview, like Roaming does, or like Stefan, or like Dave, there is an opportunity for the host to create a very comfortable space for their guest, and they give them enough rope that they might just hang themselves, or they might do something cool with it. You don't really know until you really watch the interview. And in that space, the idea is presented on a pedestal, in a very relaxed way, and the audience, you, can decide, is this idea good or is it bad? Is it solid or is it faulty? And there's not reliance on gotcha moments and tricks and all that other good stuff. Let me explain this more case in point. Stefan Molyneux, I have to credit him. I don't know if he would even like this or not, but I have to credit him with turning me against the alt-right. So about a year ago, July 2016, ramping up to the election, I did not know what the alt-right was really. I'd heard the term kicked around, and then Hillary did her kind of screechy, deplorable speech. I got on YouTube and I found Stefan Molyneux interviewing Vox Day in a video entitled, "What is the Alt-Right?" Pretty darn good video. Stefan did not push Vox. He didn't question him or get him with gotcha moments. He just let Vox present his ideas. When I heard those ideas, I realized how flawed they were. I realized how deeply concerning the ideology of the alt-right is to my worldview. And I went, I don't like this. And it wasn't because Stefan was a better debater. It wasn't because he tore the ideas down right then and there. It's not because he outmaneuvered Vox from a logical standpoint. He simply let Vox talk. That's all I needed to hear. And since then, I have been very against the alt-right. And so people would say, well, Stefan never pushed him. It's like, well, if you're paying attention with your own sense of logic, if you're paying attention with your own worldview intact, a softball interview is not a threat. It's an opportunity to learn about somebody else's point of view and decide, does this person have a logical standpoint or do they not? So anyway, I hope that gives you some food for thought or snacks for thought. If you get a chance, definitely check out Roaming Millennial, Stefan Molyneux, Dave Rubin, especially the new interview with Imam Tawhidi, I believe his name is, that Roaming's doing. I think it's going to be good. Watch it. Go there with your ideas intact and be prepared to question ideas and be prepared to just listen and figure out where they stand and figure out where you stand in relation to the guest. Thanks so much for listening in. I do appreciate it. Catch you next time.